Good morning. So this is my first vlog post on this manifestation experiment that I'm going through. Today is it's the 7th of August 2023, and for the next 12 weeks I'm going to be posting vlogs about manifestation and what I'm manifesting on this 12-week experiment, because I've been at this manifesting journey for about 14 years already, and I've manifested a lot in my life, but it's always been really up and down. You've probably experienced the same. And I really want to focus on how I can make it go like this instead of the up and down and the up and down. So before we get started, it'd be really great if you could like and share and comment on this video, and if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell, that would be great, and then you'll be notified whenever I upload a new vlog post. And if you want to do this experiment along with me, that would be great too. If you go over to my Instagram with the handle Manifest with Phil, you can stitch together with any vlog posts that I post over there. So let's get started. Now, I started thinking about this yesterday. So yesterday was the 8th today. So yesterday was the 7th, and I was on my way home from the city. I go to the city to go to work at the moment. If you want to know why I'm working in the city in a pub, you can subscribe to my website and you get a personal video from me that explains all that. There's a link to that below the video in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, or in my bio on Instagram if you're watching there. And I was coming back from the city, and I was, so I had to go through the main train station, and I had to go get onto the train. It's a 3.5-hour journey for me to get from the city to my home. And what I really wanted to focus on was how I was feeling along the way. Now, when it comes to manifestation, there's really only two things that are important, and that is paying attention to how you feel, and that obviously leads into what you're thinking, the kind of thoughts that you're having. And also it's about bringing more joy into your life, because the more joy you can feel, the higher your vibration is, and that's when your manifestations are kind of gonna come in. It's not about focusing on, I want to be rich, I want a house, I want a partner, whatever it is. It's about that base level of joy and maintaining a default positive attitude rather than allowing the mind to go into its negative spiral, because it's natural for it to do that. It's natural for it to go into negative thinking. Now, even though I've been focusing on this for the last 14 years, and I've been on this manifestation journey, and I've been pretty good at it so far when I needed to be, when I actually yesterday decided to really pay attention to my thoughts and feelings, something really amazing happened. Now, I made a few notes of the things that actually, the negative thoughts that went through my mind, because it's not about pushing the negativity away. It's actually about analysing and looking at what kind of negative thought patterns are occurring, and then trying to address why they occur and really doing something about that. So you can have this then level of positivity, default level of positivity, and not negative. They're still going to come. Negative thoughts are never not going to come, let's face it. That's just who we are. We are programmed to think negatively, because if we didn't think negatively in the past, we would have died, because it's that negative thinking, that fight or flight response, that's kept us alive over millennia. But these are the thoughts that I had as I was going through my day. So bear with me, because they are negative thoughts, but looking at them now, they're pretty funny. So the first one I had, I was walking through the main train station in the city, and I saw this woman with this kind of painted lipstick that went outside of her natural lip line, and I kind of thought, God, why on earth do you do that? Because it looked like a clown. I'm sorry, it really did. It made her look like a clown, and I thought to myself, okay, that is a negative thought pattern. That's me judging somebody else, and being judgmental is negative. And I thought, why am I judging someone by my standards? I don't wear makeup, I never have, I probably never will. I'm judging that person by my standards. If that's what makes her feel confident, then that's perfectly fine. Who am I to pass judgment? But that was the first negative thought that went through. Then, as I got onto the train, it seems like it's a long process of negative thought. It's not really. I got onto the train. Now, I live in Germany, which means we have to travel with the Deutsche Bahn. It's pretty much the only option that we've got. And they're pretty terrible, let's face it. That's not inviting a negative experience. That's just, it really is. They really are terrible. But so I was sitting waiting for the train to leave, and it had already put into the app a delay getting to the station that I needed to get off. So I found myself getting annoyed with that, thinking, you know, how can you predict the delay before we even set off? And that's just the kind of thing that happens. It turned out actually that we got there perfectly on time, but I'll tell you maybe how I manifested that on the way. The other thing I noticed was, as I was sitting on the train, now obviously 3.5 hours is quite a long time to be able to think, and I do like to give myself the time to sit and process stuff when I'm on the train, because when I'm working in the city, I'm working in a pub, and I'm working really long hours and encountering a lot of people in those long hours. Like in the past, from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did 35 hours in 3 days, which is quite a lot, but I've now got another 10 days off, so that's really good. But I found myself sort of thinking, I have, if you subscribe to my website already, you'll know that I've actually suffered in the past from compassion burnout, because I have been in the therapy business for, about 15 years now, and I got to a point where I just couldn't hear it anymore. I got to that point where I had that compassion burnout and I couldn't listen to people's problems anymore. And obviously working in a pub, you do have to listen to a lot of people's problems, and I found myself into this thought pattern of not having much empathy for people who consider themselves victims of circumstance. Because you'll know, if you're already a manifestor, if you're already into the law of attraction, you know that life happens because of you and not to you. Now that's gonna trigger some people, because, you know, people say, well, why am I going through this terrible trauma? Why do I experience all these bad things? How have I drawn that towards me? And it's not so much drawing it towards you, it's just the universe giving you the lessons that you need to endure. And believe me, in my past, I've had to endure some pretty harsh lessons, and I promise you that even though they were some of the worst, most horrible things I wouldn't wish on anybody else, I did come out much, much stronger on the other side, and the alternative of the way I was going was not good. But I found myself not feeling this kind of, not feeling empathy for victimhood. And I kind of, that doesn't sit well for me. So I think that's probably something that I'm going to have to try and address quite deeply over the coming 12 weeks. Because part of the law of attraction is being your best centered self in order to then help the people around you. So it's more, the law of attraction and positive thinking is definitely an inward, it's a very selfish action, but that selfish action of becoming more aligned with source, with God, with the universe, whatever it is that you're named for it, becoming aligned with that is then going to go outwards and help other people. So you can't help others unless you first help yourself. So that's something that I know that I need to kind of address in the coming 12 weeks. And then that kind of fed into this thought pattern of actually getting annoyed with people who don't think in the same way that I do. I mean, how ridiculous is that? But that's pretty much why we have arguments with people. We only argue with people because they don't have the same thought about things that we do. And I'm actually quite good normally about not thinking like that, because I've been with my partner now for 10 years. I definitely manifested him because he's definitely what I had on my ideal partner description before I met him. And we don't argue, not really, we don't have these kind of disagreements about things. It's very much a discussion and exchange and communication. And I'm very good at, or we're both very good at being able to accept the fact that we're not going to think the same about things. But I found myself getting into this thought pattern about people not thinking about things the same way that I do, and that kind of got me quite annoyed, and then I found it quite amusing because it is kind of silly. And the last thing that kind of annoyed me on yesterday was there was a guy on the bus I got off the train station, got on the bus to go home, and there was a guy coughing on the bus, and that kind of annoyed me because and I really don't know why, but it just kind of did. However, so they're kind of silly things that annoyed me, but the pattern within all that was analysing it. There's a pattern of wanting to control. There's wanting to control what other people are thinking and doing. And there's also this kind of irritation that people are encroaching on my bubble of peace, if you like, which is kind of it's kind of silly when you think about it, but that was my observation. Now what happened was that as I was analysing that, now the train journey for me from the city to my place is really beautiful. It's just through beautiful countryside and nature reserves, and there's one really beautiful bit. I'll just put a little video clip as I'm talking that you'll be able to see, where you go over this really high bridge and it goes over a canal. And as I was going over the canal, obviously my focus at that point really kind of, it went to the water and it went to the beautiful view, because you can see for miles and miles and miles. And I suddenly had this beautiful feeling of peace that came over me. And it was a really strange feeling. It took me back to being a kid, and it took me back to feeling happy as a kid, because I had a fairly happy childhood. It wasn't very affluent. We were quite poor. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have many friends because it was we were on a farm in the middle of the southwest of England. But I had a fairly happy childhood, a very loving family around me. And the feeling that I had at that point was this kind of feeling of safety and a feeling of serenity that kind of came over me. And I kind of then, my analytical mind that I have actually went into trying to unpick that as to why that came over me at that time. And then it was really so clear that because I'd focused on nature and I'd focused on the water and the beautiful view and appreciating what was in front of me, everything else just blended into the background. Nothing else was important. The only thing that was important at that point was this beautiful feeling of appreciation that I had. And it's basically, I mean, if you can master that day by day, then you've cracked it, because all your manifestations are going to come in one after another. They're just going to flow to you as and when you need them, as and when you can cope with them, because the universe never gives you anything that you can't cope with. And it never gives you less than you can cope with or more than you can cope with. And I just thought, this is the feeling that I'm trying to cultivate over the next 12 weeks. So what I then did, so when I got home, I was super tired anyway, because I hadn't had much sleep the night before. I do like to get up early when I'm coming home from the pub, so that I can get home and be at home for as long as possible, because I just love where I live. And so I had a nap on the sofa. I had the inspiration, because I was actually feeling pretty good. I had the inspiration to cook a healthy meal, because that is something that when you're not in alignment, you're not really in line with cooking healthily and nourishing your body. But I felt good, so I cooked a healthy meal. And I had the thought as well that one of the byproducts of the next 12 weeks might be a little bit of weight loss. So I weighed myself this morning. I'll show you a little video of that. It looks quite high, but I'm actually quite a tall person, so it's not as bad as it looks, to be honest. I'm 5'8", so that's pretty tall. I carry it well. But one of the byproducts might be to lose weight. So I've put the video of weighing myself in here this morning, and I'm going to weigh myself after the 12 weeks as an experiment as well, because I thought that might actually be a pleasant byproduct. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be focusing on, because it doesn't bother me too much, but we're going to have a look at that as well. And when I went to bed last night, I really took some time to focus on the good things that had happened in that day. So the good things that had happened were that actually the train that I was on and the bus that I was on were perfectly on time, and I mean to the absolute second. And I really, really, really think that because along that journey, because it was delayed when we set off, but along that journey, because I'd focused on the beauty around me, and I was really I wasn't pushing away the negative thoughts. I was allowing myself to feel them, analysing them, and then laughing at them because they were daft. Because I allowed myself to feel that, and I allowed myself to feel the negativity, and then did something about it, then that train was perfectly on time. Because believe me, that does not happen very often with the Deutsche Bahn, especially on the stretch that I normally do. So I was really super grateful for that. Also, my sister-in-law picked me up from the bus station, so I didn't have to walk home. I was very grateful for her for doing that. It's about a half-an-hour walk for me from the bus station to the house. We were able to go shopping on the way home, and I stocked up on lots of really nice healthy food. When I got home, it was lovely and comfortable. I had a really nice snooze on the sofa. We had a really super meal in the evening. It was really nice. We watched some nice TV together, my partner and I. And when I went to bed, I was just laying there and really relishing in the clean sheets and the comfy bed with my head on my comfy pillow. I've actually got a water pillow with it's fantastic. If you want a new pillow, get a water pillow. They're amazing. And I went to sleep with this kind of feeling really good about the next 12 weeks. So that was my day yesterday. That was day one of my manifestation experiment. So again, if you'd like to follow along with me, just hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram at Manifest with Phil. Hit that notification button if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new vlog video. I'm gonna try and do them daily, I think, but I know that that's not gonna be possible at some points, because when I'm at work, I can't upload anything really at work. It might be a quick video. This weekend I'm at a festival, which will be good fun. And obviously I won't be able to upload while I'm at a festival, but I will take some clips of some good stuff. And I just wanted to finish off this video by pulling an oracle card. This is the Oracle deck, the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra and Taylor. I'll put a link to those in the description as well, in case you want to pick them up. It comes with a little booklet that explains them all. And I'm just really looking at these Oracle cards for some energy of what to pay attention to in the next few days. So I'm just kind of asking the universe what the universe has to tell me about the coming days, or even just today. What does the universe want to tell me right now? So we'll just give the cards a good shuffle, and then I'm going to split the deck and take the top card. So what have we got? We have got rest and rejuvenation. So that is card number 19. Let's see what number 19 says. So this card, you can see that, this card shows a man in a meditative and tranquil state. The message here is that you have time to relax. Ooh, that's good. I like that. And you may have been busy lately, but you should soon find more time to just let go. Well, I think 35 hours in 3 days is pretty busy. When you do, allow yourself to go within and open up to the peace and wisdom that are vibrating there. This card upright indicates that there should be more leisure time for now, and more of an opportunity to engage in peaceful thinking, so make it a priority. Your connection to spirit brings great assistance, but it can only be achieved now through regular relaxation and meditation. Now is a great time to make sure you insert this gentle activity into your daily life. In many ways, this is far more productive than unceasing action. That's really interesting, because one of the things that I know really makes a difference is meditation. And I'm actually quite bad at being consistent about it. I can do it, I really enjoy it, but for some reason I get up and I forget, or I find an excuse why I'm not going to do it. So I am going to do it today. I'm making that promise to you so you can hold me accountable, and then I will report back on it in the next vlog post about how that meditation went, on any messages that I may receive from that meditation. So thanks again for watching this video. Like and subscribe and share if you can, and I'll see you again on the next vlog. Bye.